Is this on? Yes. Hi guys, and welcome back to Reed's Readers with your host Clinton Reed Britton. And today, I know this is a little late, but I'm going to bring with you my October wrap up, as well as, I didn't think about it till just now. Grab those papers. My I Know What You Did Last Summer-a-thon wrap up. And what I read during Chiller Thriller. So at the end, I'll go over those and we'll get to that. But I want to talk about all the books that I read this month I own. There will be 4 that I'll just have them linked down below. I'll at least have 2 out of the 4 linked down below because the other one's like the first one in a series. So if you guys want to check those out, we'll get to that later. But let's just go over my stats. For the month of October, I read 21 books. I had 1 3-star, 5 4-stars, 1 4.5 star, and 14 5-stars. I read 0 rereads. 12 books with queer representation, 19 romance books, and a total of 5,904 pages. That's a lot. So let's just get into these books, and I will explain. You won't be able to see 4 of them, and we'll just talk about them real quick anyways. But I want to first start off with one that I didn't read the book, but I read the bonus chapter, and I wanted to mention it. And that is Red, White, and Royal Blue. I did read the new bonus chapter at the end. Where is it? Where does it start? The one in Henry's point of view. And I absolutely loved it. I was bawling. I want a full book of this. I wanted to mention that here. Casey McQuestion, please give us a full-length novel, continuation of those 5 years. And can we talk about how stunning this book is? Still need to get the British edition so that I can have the American and the British side by side. But okay. Now, I did have 1 3-star, which was from the I Know What You Did Last Summer-a-thon. It was the group book for that. And that is I Know What You Did Last Summer. 3 stars. This was a meh book. Preferred the movie. I'm not talking more about this. If you want to know my full thoughts on this, go watch the live show we had for I Know What You Did Last Summer. A thon, which I also want to thank everybody for joining us. And I apologize that I chose such a crappy group book. Again, we're no longer going to be talking about it. I did not mean to throw that. Sorry, Chewy. I have a Chewy right here. Now we're on to our 4 stars, which I had 5 4-stars. The first one I want to talk about is Prince of Song and Sea by Lindsay Miller. I have an entire video on this. I will link it down below about my thoughts. But this is Little Mermaid told from Eric's point of view. There is a queer side character, and I absolutely love this, and I cannot wait to continue on in this series where they're going to do each of the princesses, but from the prince's point of view. I know next one is Prince Philip with Princess Aurora, which I'm excited about. Next on our 4 stars, I have Buffy the Vampire Slayer Volume 2, Once Bitten, which I read this one. I know I read this one for Chiller Thriller, but this is just the continuation of, this is a new graphic novel series. If Buffy was set in 2018 instead of the 90s, how that would happen. Does that make sense? I hope so. So, next we have... Did I read this or something? No. Okay. Next we have Howl by Sean David Hutchinson, which I do want to read more Sean David Hutchinson in the future. This was pitched to me as a werewolf book. I would not call it a werewolf book, but this is a really good story about Virgil Knox, who has to move to a claustrophobic southern town of Merritt. And the things that happen there. I will say that there is a shapeshifter kind of creature in here, but I feel like that's more of an allegory for rape and sexual assault. So please go into this with trigger warnings. Really good book, though. My next 4-star is Wild as the Witch by Rachel Griffin. I absolutely loved this. This follows Iris and Pike. Iris accidentally does a curse on Pike, and an owl swoops in, grabs it, and they have to go hunt down this owl, or the world will end. That's pretty much what this is about, and I loved it. And Rachel Griffin is an auto-buy author for me. She did what Shay Earnshaw did not for me, and that is, I loved both her book novels. Like, can we talk about the stunningness? But it was absolutely amazing. Next is This Love Hurts by Willow Winters, or W. Winters. This was a 3-hour audiobook. I flew through it. I will tell you, it is dark romance. I would not say erotica, because a lot of the sex scenes happen off-page. But it's about a woman and an FBI agent who both transfers jobs following a case. And then a serial killer. And I fucking loved it. That's all I'm gonna say. And then the last 4-star we have... that's the end of my 4 stars. My only 4.5 star was Scream for Us by Molly Doyle, which is a short novella. Takes place on Halloween. A girl gets saved by a guy with a ghost face mask, a guy with a Jason mask, and a guy with a Michael Myers mask. And the sexy times. Let's just say I will own this book in physical form, and I will be listening to Melt for Us during December, which y'all will see coming up shortly. We will have an announcement for a mini readathon coming soon. But, yes. That is the only 4.5. Loved it. And then the first 2 5 stars are books 2 and books 3 to This Love Hurts, which is But I Need You and I Love You the Most. I powered through each of those because each ends on a cliffhanger and I had to know what fucking happened. And the way that fucking book, the series ends, I want to go back and reread. I want to go back and read the first series set in this world, and I'm going to read each of the series next year. Because I needs to know. Just saying. That's all I'm going to say on that. And then next, we have Superman, Son of Kal-El, Volume 1, The Truth. This is about Superman's son, John Kent, who this is the book where he comes out as gay and has a boyfriend, and I absolutely love this. and cannot wait till volume 2. I love seeing queer Superman. Loved it. Next we have, because I put the next 3 are like continuations in a series or into a series, so I can catch up. I usually put those low on my 5 stars unless they blow me away. And we have volume 3 of Lore Olympus, which just follows. If you don't know what this is, where are you? This follows Persephone and Hades in the slow burn amazingness with cutesy art. 5 out of 5 stars. I've given all of them 5 stars, and I absolutely love this series. I cannot wait for volume 4. Next we have Kingdom of the Cursed by Carrie Maniscalco. It's the last book I finished in October. Absolutely love this. Book 1 follows Amelia, who finds out her twin sister gets murdered, and so she summons a demon, not knowing she was summoning one of the 7 princes of hell, Wrath, to try to figure out what happened to her sister. This follows the events in the first one, and I absolutely loved this. At first, I was thinking I was going to give it like a 4.5, and then the ending went, what the fuck? I have the 3rd one on this month's TBR and cannot wait to get to it. This next one finishes out a trilogy, and that is The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the finale to Inheritance Games. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I've talked a lot about this series on this channel, so I'm not going to go in any further depth. But I'm excited for the spinoff book that we're getting, the Hawthorne Brothers, because there's left a little room for a few of them to get a final story. Okay, and my next 5 out of 5 stars was My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I will be reading more Grady Hendrix in the future. But this follows Abby and her best friend Gretchen. And when Gretchen starts beginning to act weird, finding out that your best friend is possessed. I really still need to watch the movie that came out. This was phenomenal. I loved it. Just putting that out there. Next is The Alpha's Son by Penny Jessup. Gay werewolf. Yeah. Cannot wait for book 2, because this is slowly becoming one of my favorite YA series. Obviously, it's me. All I heard was gay werewolf, and I went, yes, please. Which I'm hoping to read some more gay werewolf books in the future, so that I can give y'all an in-depth look into queer werewolf stories. I know this one follows Max and his best friend. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but they go to this Blue Moon festival to find out who their soulmate is, and Max's soulmate ends up being the son of the alpha of their pack, the next alpha in line. And shit goes down from there. That's all you really need to know going into this, because this is a phenomenal book. And I highly recommend this to everybody. This and the next, this to number 1 are some of the best books I read. And these 7 will be on my tops of the year because these were just all phenomenal for one reason or another. Love, love, love this. I didn't read this during anything, did I? No, sorry. Next is The Murderer Between Us by Tao Bauer. I still need to read book 2. This follows Noel and Cole, both FBI profilers, FBI agents, gay criminal minds. Literally is all I'm going to say, is all you need to know is gay criminal minds going into it, and read it. But this has opened me up. I've now read a book this month that kind of goes alongside this, who has opened me up to a new subgenre of romance novels. That is the dark suspense, where one is an officer of the law, at least of some sort, a private investigator, detective, an FBI agent. If you know any queer detective, FBI agent, cops, solving crimes thing, comment those down below and let me know, because I'm looking for more in this kind of vein. You can find me gay CSI. Love you forever. Next is a book that was sent to me by a friend. By, I want to say, Sydney. Sent me actually the next 2 books. And this one was not on my wish list. She absolutely loved it. Sent it my way. And I was like, I'll give it a try. I've never heard of it. And I was pleasantly shocked at how amazing this book is. And that is Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. This follows Mallory Quinn as she starts a babysitting job. She's just fresh out of rehab, starts this babysitting job with Ted, for Ted and Carolina Maxwell, and their son Teddy, who's 5. Loves the job, and then she starts to notice there's something a little off with Teddy. And there are pictures throughout that this little boy draws that gets more and more violent throughout, and this is one of the creepiest books I've ever read. Love, 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 loved it. Next is one that I had added to my wish list that Sydney sent to me, that I heard Kayla from Books and Lala read, and she loved it. I did not expect it to be as creepy and as it was. But that is Goddess of Filth by V. Castro. This cute little thing. This is really the Craft meets Jennifer's Body, with possession and exorcisms. But I will state the exorcism and thing didn't creep me out. The priest in this, I still have nightmares from that priest. I literally hosted the I Know What You Did Last Summer-a-thon because I wanted to find a book or multiple books that gave me nightmares. This, Hidden Bodies, and my number 2 book of this month gave me nightmares. And these are just stunning. Next I have White Trash Warlock by David R. Slayton. This is an Oklahoma-based author. This is a warlock by the name of Adam from Oklahoma who ends up having to go to Colorado. Or is it Chicago? Denver, Colorado, to help his sister-in-law who's possessed. You know, I just realized I read a lot of possession this month. And I fucking loved this. There's also a cop in here going alongside my cop romance. And I cannot wait to read book 2. I have the audiobook set aside for this month to listen to. I own book 3. I need to buy book 2. This is stunning and will probably is slowly becoming one of my favorite series. And I have a huge connection to this, like I do. It's not as strong as Wolf's Song, but it's up there as like my probably, depending on how the rest of the series goes, this has potential to be one of my top 5 favorite queer series of all time. And I love that. And I know I read that for that. My number 2 book of the month is Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesar. I literally only read this because Nikki and Tracy were raving about it. All you really need to know is small town, serial killer, clowns. I will not go further into that. And my number 1 book of the month was sent to me by the author to read and review. And poor Kit. Kit thought I hated this because it took me a while to read it, but that's just because physical reading went down towards the end of October because busy. But that is Of Feathers and Thorns by Kit Vincent. This is gay magicians, queer magicians. This is set in an alternate 1900s world where magic is out and proud. Everyone knows warlocks exist. I also have a video on this that I'll link down below. Actually, I'd rather you guys go watch that video, which also in that video, there are links to where you can purchase this if this sounds like the perfect book for you. But come on, queer magicians and that cover for a debut novel? That's just stunning. Now let's go over what I read for Chiller Thriller, which took place the 1st through the 15th. And for that, for a book published in October, because this one was published October 13th, 2020, I read White Trash Warlock. For a book with witches or clowns, I read Wild as the Witch. For horror manga or graphic novel, I read Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Volume 2. I was not able to get to the group book, The Weight of Blood, but I did read 2 books that I count as Halloween colors, and that is The Final Gambit, because the red, orange, and yellow, and to me, The Murder Between Us. The black with that chartreuse, to me, is very dark and alluring and pulls you in. So to me, I completed Chiller Thriller with 5 books. Love that for me. And for the I Know What You Did Last Summer-a-thon, I would like to thank everybody who was a part of it. I would like to really thank Hope, Nikki, and Morgan. I feel like someone else was in the live shows too. But whoever was on live with us, which y'all will know about the readathon announcement coming soon. But I just want to thank you guys. This was so much fun. I literally only wanted to host this to force myself to read more horror because I don't really read a lot of horror. And I read quite a bit for this week. 1, 2, 3, 4. I read 5 books and I'm ecstatic about that. So, for Julia James, Paranormal Element, and for stunning cover, Helen Shivers, I read Goddess of Filth. For Ray Bronson, 5-star prediction. And Barry William Cox, Rita Slasher, I read Cloud on a Cornfield. For Set in a Small Town, Melissa and Missy Egan, I read Hidden Pictures. For a book featuring water, Max Newark, I read My Best Friend's Exorcism. And for Ben Willis, the group book I read, I Know What You Did Last Summer. But I also watched the movie and I attempted the TV show, which is trash. That is my wrap-up for October. Comment down below, let me know. Did I inspire you to read any of these? Are there any in this that you've read? Don't forget, and hopefully I don't forget, I will link down in the description the video for A Feather and Thorns and Prince of Song and Sea, where you guys can get my full thoughts on those. That's all I got for you guys. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you're new, hit that subscribe. And until next time, always be fabulously yourself. Oh boy.